In the heart of Accra, Ghana, a name has echoed through generations, standing strong against the sands of time, the name Kwashi. Originating from Accra in Ghana, West Africa, this name has weathered the storms of history, remaining unchanged since the days of slavery. Today, we celebrate the enduring spirit of a Kwashi, a testament to resilience, unity, and the power of heritage. Join us as we embark on a journey through time, exploring the unwavering bond of the Kwashi name, a name that carries echoes of history into the present. Join me as I converse with Kellis Kwashi, aka Kushan Dea. Africa Unboxed. Kushan
Dea.
Dea.
Yes, I
like the name.
Thank you, man.
Well,
the name comes from Q Kwashi, which is my last name. I was born Kellis Calvert Kwashi, and I took the Q from my last name, breaking all the grammatical rules in English where U is followed by a Q, and take the suffix of the word nation, the T-I-O-N, considering myself representing all nation. I take the T-I-O-N from the suffix of the word nation and spell it like I'm pronouncing it, S-H-A-N, because I couldn't spell my name Q-T-N, Q-T-I-O-N, so I had to spell it Q-S-H-A-N. So it actually means Kwashi, representing the nation, Dea, which means is here, like I'll say, yo, Stanley Dea. So the Dea part is the little Jamaican patois to say I'm here. So it's Kwashi representing the nation is here. That's the meaning of Kushan Dea.
You obviously have a very interesting name for a diaspora or shall I say a Caribbean.
Yes.
Kwashi. We'll get to that later. But before that, can you tell us a bit about your growing up, where you grew up and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, I was born in a small little island that is 3 square miles south of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I'm in the Grenadines of St. Vincent. It's a very, very minute island. There's no form of major vegetation. We have coconut trees, we have the pawpaw, we have the sweet sap, or the sour sap as they may call it. We also have contumely with the dasheen leaf. They'll call it the dasheen leaf in the Caribbean.
Okay.
You know, so I grew up with humbly beginnings in a musical family. A lot of my relatives sing. They may not get an opportunity to have a extensive career in music, but they sang a lot in the church. I have an auntie that everything she does, she sings. So from the tender age of 9, I wrote my first song in that little island where I embraced the Easter festivities that it's been kept every year. So I was one of the youngsters, one of the first youngsters to be on stage from 9-year-old, touching the microphone. At that time I wanted to become like as they will say, a sing-jay.
Yeah.
Like a bourgeois or a beanie man, you know.
Yeah.
But they call it toasting at that time.
Toast.
Yeah, so you were known as a toaster.
Yeah.
You know, and my younger brother, he was known as the singer. So at the time they used to call us Major Q and Muffy Q. I was the major and he was the Muffy. You know. So yeah, so then I started singing in the choir in the churches, and then from that foundation I never had music as something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, but my first instrument was the steel pan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the steel pan. Yeah, the steel pan was my first instrument. Yeah, and also second was the recorder, that flute like. Yeah, so music has been one of my, hobby growing up as a young kid, and also a natural talent that, like I told you, my family's into music on my mother's side. On my father's side, they never went into having a career. But on my mother's side, sister's son made a name in Italy as a reggae star at the time. So reggae has always been one of my best genre that I connect with, even though I was born in a calypso environment, which is closer to the high life music in Ghana.
Your child seems to be very interesting.
Yeah,
were they tough times?
A lot of tough times. Like I say, I grew up in humble beginnings, so you have to wake up in the morning like 4, 5 and go milk the cow to get the milk to take home for your parents to make tea or porridge before you leave to go to school. And sometime you go milk the cow and then you have to go back to get the sticks or the wood to make the fire. And then, after that you have to rush on your way to school. The island is small, so everybody's on their foot most of the time.
Wow. How big is it?
3 square miles. There's not even 5,000 people living there up to this day.
Really?
It is not even 5,000 people. 3 square miles. Yeah, it may be 3.5 now because they did a little land reclamation in order to bring the airport for the airport strip.
I saw the strip. Very small.
Yeah, so and bathing in the beach. That's like our only hobby, to go to the beaches or go play basketball.
Oh, really?
Or athletics, Yep.
Is it a place where a lot of tourists like?
A lot of tourists like that place because we have crystal clear water that you can throw coin in the water and see goes in the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is the island that housed the first African American to get his master license to steer a ship. His name was Hugh Mulzac. Distant relative also.
Wow.
And he was also deputy captain of the Black Star liner for the Marcus Garvey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was from Union Island. He's a national hero. And in our little island, we grew up when there's times where there's dry weather because we have no form of water coming out of any big springs.
Yeah.
Our springs are well water, which is hard water. It don't lather. So we get a lot of our water when we run out of water from the mainland St. Vincent and from the sky. So I grew up drinking sky juice until maybe the age 16 when I went to St. Vincent, the mainland, after finishing high school, secondary school in the little island. I went up to the main island, St. Vincent King's Town, which housed the first king from Nigeria or from Africa. He's the first king that ever came to the Caribbean in refuge and settled in St. Vincent.
He came there for refuge?
King Jaja. There's a big history about him. King Jaja came to St. Vincent. He was fleeing from the British who was trying to take over, to dethrone him. And he made his way safely to St. Vincent. And then he settled there for many years until it was okay for him to go back to his throne in Nigeria, where he was restored.
Wow.
And we end up calling our city King's Town. So the uniqueness between St. Vincent and Jamaica is Kingston, St. Vincent is King's Town. So it's a W that separates us. And there's 6 letters in our dialect that separates us from speaking as Jamaican. 6 letters in our dialect that separates us from our patois being identically like the Jamaican patois.
So what are those things?
Well, I will say, we know A is an African expression. We use that a lot in our culture.
Yeah.
The Jamaican only use A in there. Like, for example, let me see if I can get a comparison. Like, in our island, we'll be like, "What's up?" How you doing? Jamaican will say, "Wagwan." But within the history, I don't know who came up with the 6-letter calculation, but I read within the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Jamaica, because you can go in the countryside of St. Vincent and have people speaking the same deep patois like Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of similarities,
Okay, so with that, I want to ask, you being here, what are some of the similarities you've seen in the Caribbeans and say in Ghana?
Yeah, well, with the high life music, it sounds like extempo. It comes like extempo music, or the kaiso, or the calypso.
Yeah.
It's very, very close to the calypso of the Trinidad. You know, and even the extempo in my island, where they sing social commentary, and they have competitions every year called the extempo kaiso competition. So the high life music really reminds me a lot of that. And also, even, I mean, African culture is so much alike. I mean, we eat some of the same foods, but some of the foods may be called different names in Ghana. I see a lot of fruits that is similar but called different names. Like, for example, I don't know if I'm calling this one, like the jackfruit, you know, or the, I think you guys have breadfruit here also. The plantain, the green banana, also the soursop.
Yeah.
We have a lot of similar, we have one called the sugar apple, but it may be called a different name here. The one that has it has a shell looking kind of.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
is
a spider looking shell. No, it has a black seed inside of it. It's white inside, and you have to put it to ripe. You pick it and you put it to ripe, and then you break it. Yeah, I've seen it here. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of fruits that I see that is similar to the Caribbean, but have a different name in Ghana, you know.
But the culture or the culture?
The culture is very similar in the sense of music, how the people speak to each other, how they gesture to each other reminds me of the Caribbean a lot. And the hospitality of Ghana. In the Caribbean, we love being hospitable to everyone that visits the Caribbean. So I say that is a gesture I receive in Ghana that I love a lot, that I will tell people, visit Ghana, because Ghana is a very hospitable place, you know. You will always have someone that will give you direction, you know. So it's the same like the diaspora or the Caribbean.
So you grew up, when was the time you left? Because the last time we spoke, you were like...
I left in 1996. Landed in the United States the 12th of September. Well, I actually was going to the States to shop for barber chairs and barber equipment, because at the time I was trimming hair. I was a very good trimmer from 9-10-year-old. My elder brother taught me how to trim, so I kept, you know, trimming as a way to provide a little income, because as I say, the island is just small, there's nothing, no big employment. So after finishing college, not finishing college, but leaving college with one more semester to graduate and get an opportunity to get a visa to go overseas, I choose going overseas rather than finishing my college degree to, you know, in animal husbandry, because my vision was to become a vet in veterinarian science. So went into New York for maybe a 2 weeks vacation. After there for 2 weeks, I felt like, why am I going to go back to the Caribbean and I could have a better life here? So I stayed there, and a few years after I got naturalized, and been living in America from 1996. I visited the Caribbean in 2004 and spent some years to and from, because at the time I had children in the Caribbean, in another Caribbean island called St. Lucia. So I was there for some years, and then to Jamaica with my music career, and I kept America, Caribbean, Jamaica, back to America, and always out within my thought, hey, I need to find my history, because I have a very rare name, Kwashi.
Yeah, but before we get to that, how was being in America like? How did America treat you?
Oh, I will say America is, I will say, a beautiful place with beautiful people, and also a very dangerous place with dangerous people. So there's pros and cons. There were good times and there were bad times. So for you to survive in a place like New York, without no scratches on your skin. You have to be living a good life. I mean, free from peer pressure, and I never had no peer pressure. From the time I set foot in America, I was already into working, doing construction. So I must say, it's a big Caribbean community there. It's a melting pot for everyone, all race, from Europe, Caribbean, diaspora, if you want to call it that. And while I was there, I felt like I was still in the Caribbean, but I had more access to more material stuff.
Right.
And America taught me to appreciate my history, because there were times when I undergo brutal treatment by people in authority, all because of the color of my skin. So you realize that it is not as friendly as what we see on the television.
Can you share that experience?
Well, I mean, for example, I'm an Uber driver. Because you are considered as someone that makes money, because you can make, for example, $500 per day driving Uber. Hence, you're a target to every precinct in America, because these officers don't even make $300 a day. And for you, who's just a mere driver who drive around, pick people up, you don't even have to touch the people. They just book you with the app, just like it is here in Ghana, with the Bolt, the Yango, and so forth. So after being a driver, you're going to find, because I'm Rastafarian, and at those times, marijuana was not even legal. But from the time they see me, they see a ganja tree. So the stigmatization of Africans or Caribbean nationals like myself, they predominantly think I'm Jamaican. So when they pull me over, they come with that vengeance too. And some of these police officers are black Americans who do not like Caribbean. So there's a big challenge between black people in the West. There's certain black Americans who we all went on the transatlantic slave trade. They probably went on a different ship, and they themselves don't consider themselves Africans, or don't see us as equal or as their relatives.
Well,
so whenever they meet,
how do you think about, like, how do you feel about that? Because
I feel because there is misinformation. I mean, there's a lot of history that has not been passed on, even in the syllabus, while we are in our tertiary education stage, to better edify us that, hey, we have brothers and sisters in the Caribbean. We need to connect with them. The Americans, they've never been taught that. So they don't have anything within their syllabus that connects them with the Caribbean heroes, the Caribbean...
Even Africa.
Or Africa. Even in the Caribbean, we never had nothing in the social study or the curriculum syllabus that will tell us about Nani from Ghana, or Marcus Garvey, or Osajifo, Honorable Nkrumah, or no one. They will never, Mandela, you know what I'm saying? So you find that most of our history was tainted. So even in the US, I realized after I've been there, there were even a guy who wanted to attack me, almost took my life.
Why?
Because he have the same vengeance of Caribbean blacks and not the same as American blacks.
Wow.
And most American blacks are in a gang.
Yeah.
And if they cannot get to infiltrate you to be part of their, they try to see how other way they can hurt you. So yes, I've got a big stab in my back from a guy who's envious of me for whatever reason. He said he wants to sing and he can't sing, and I'm not teaching him to sing.
So he has to stab you?
He stabbed me, and I grabbed the knife, almost lost all my fingers. They say I will never be able to do this ever in my life again, and you can see. So
wow.
Even, for example, back to the Uber situation, New York City is full of a lot of racist cops, and they will pull you over for nothing, and they will accuse you of speeding when you're not speeding, and you have no proof if you don't have a dash cam set up in your car to defend. So most of the time they tell you, oh, we'll give you a citation, and you just go online and pay for it. You don't have to click, you just click the box that says guilty and pay and go your way. Or you can go to court, get a lawyer, which is extra money. So most people like myself, we just pay our way and go our way. Hence, there were not all cops that pulled me over did that. Some will pull me over till you get out of your car, tell the passenger, get another ride, and dig up the car to see if there's any drugs carrying, which I don't deal with drugs, but anyway. Then they will put handcuffs on you for their protection. This is what they'll tell you. For my protection, I'll have to cuff you. So they'll cuff you, humiliate you. Create a traffic. Then put shackles on your feet. So the one time the shackles came on my feet, my brother, I'm not lying, my blood run cold. It's like I felt the spirit of my ancestors and what they've been through. Because I never know how it feels to have shackles on my feet. And after that happened, I said to myself, you know what? I remember the officer asking me, pronounce your name. And I'm like, Kwashi. He's like, you don't even have an African-American name. It's not a typical African-American name. You're very far from home. And I'm like, what do you mean far from home? This is where I've been living since 1996. He said, no, this is not your home. And I think around the time it was when Africa broke ties with the US. So that also affected a lot of us Africans in the West. Because now they see us as like, we don't like them.
Yeah.
So a lot of brothers and sisters, even up to today, still go through the same victimization like I go through. They'll pull you over, question you if you drive a beautiful car, a Mercedes-Benz, and then humiliate you and process you, take you to prison. Instead of giving you the citation, they'll take you to prison. And then you'll be in prison for 10, 15 hours going through all different cells until you reach up to the courthouse level. And then sometime you might not even get to see the judge the night and have to spend a night in prison to see the judge the next day to collect the same citation that they could have given to you when they pull you over. Just to put you through the dirt.
Wow. So at what point in America were you like, no?
2023. 2023. 2023.
What happened? What was the
I was working with American Airlines on my way going to work one morning. There's this so-called cop. He's always at the same spot. So I'm looking at him all the while. So this morning I had my windows down. So in his mind he's probably thinking, oh, he's smoking. So he needs the ventilation. So I drove like almost 100 yards away. And he was like 200 yards behind me and I could see him, you know. And then now, all of a sudden, the guy started speeding. Because now he has to trick the machine, which is the speedometer, to create the speed so it can be legitimate. So he started speeding, and I'm seeing him going through, and I'm like, nah, he can't be coming for me. And bro, he did come, pulled me over, and told me I was speeding 100 plus. And I was not nervous because I'm not scared of them. So I was like, sir, how much person in America with this demographic have you ever pulled over? He said, you the first. So I say, hence the reason why it heightened you to pull me over, because you see me as a threat, because I have a turban on.
Wow, and you're not even guilty, you're just driving?
No, I'm just driving to pick someone up. I'm on my way to go to the airport to work. Because like I told you, I work with American Airlines.
Right.
So he said, oh, you work with American Airlines and you work with Uber. You make a lot of money. You can afford this citation. So I said, so give me the citation so I can go my way. He said, no, you're going to go to prison. I said, for what? He said, you're going to go to prison. I said, but I didn't do anything wrong. But I know he's going to just process me just to dirty my name and my driving record. So the more tickets you get on your record in the US of A, after a while they just
cancel your license.
So I say to myself, you know what? It is my time. My mom passed in 2017 and she told me, son, whenever the Spirit tells you to move, you move. And from that day, the humiliation I was put through, it changed my narrative about America. It made me see that you will make a lot of money, but you will never get rich. Because even though you make $600 a day, you might be trying to drive 2 miles over the speed limit, which might be 25, and you do 27. And the camera catches you. That's one ticket. Then you might go through a red light because it might be on yellow. That's another ticket. Then you might park to go help an old lady to go up the stairs, and you get a third ticket. So all your money for the whole day, the 600 you make, claim you're making every day,
is gone.
And sometimes you wake up one morning and happen to park on the wrong side of the street, and the sweeper may be coming and they'll boot your car and tow it. And you may wake up in the morning late and thinking, oh, I'm going to go to work and drive, turn my app on and do Uber. So it's very difficult there for livelihood. I mean, there's other jobs people can choose to do, but I choose to do a job where I can have control over my time as a musician. The reason I choose to do the Uber on the side and still do my construction, you know. And as you know, in America, there's a lot of bills, so you can't have one job. You have to have combined income. Hence the reason why I got the American airline job, because I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to fly out of the West in fine style. Literally. So I worked with American Airlines for a while, and I choose that when I turn 45, I'm going to leave the West.
Can I tell you, you don't look 45?
Thank you.
You don't. You know, when you get up, like, really?
Yeah.
You don't look it.
Yeah.
That's cool. So when did you arrive in Ghana?
I arrived in Ghana May 23rd, 2023.
How has it been like?
Oh, I'm overwhelmed with the support I've been getting from a lot of people who have listened to my music and has been inspired by my story. I must say gratitude even to yourself for even doing this story with me today. I've connected with some of the major musicians locally, like the Amanzeba and those icons who are guiding me in the right direction. And I want to say kudos to all those people who have been playing my music on the radio, and still those who have known about me that will get to know about me from even this interview. So I say my stay here in Ghana is bountiful and blissful and enjoyable. So I must say thanks to everyone who have made it good so far. I've had some little small bad experiences, but nothing major. Nothing major to say.
Yes, we had one today.
So true, yeah.
We had one today.
Yeah,
so,
you know. But we look on the bright side.
That's just by the way. We had no one, I think two.
True.
Yeah, two. Prior to recording this, it's been crazy. Yeah, but thanks to Tatale for hosting us.
Always. Tatale is I will say my headquarters when I'm in Osu.
Right.
I always support Tatale. I came here and ate their food for the first time, and it was just exactly what I imagined. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you about, you know, how are you adapting to the food? Yeah.
Well, we can get everything at Tatale in the vegan style.
That's
the
right.
banku, the fufu, you know. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that.
All right. So did you have difficulties in getting accommodation?
Oh no, when I came here, everything, like I say, when you make the right move at the right time, the ancestors do assist you and open up the right doors. And everything for me was just perfectly aligned. So I say my move was preordained and predestined, and sometimes when you chase your destiny, you happen to be in the right place at the right time.
Nice one. So let's get to the music.
Yeah.
Then we'll get into the name.
The name.
The name. Okay, music. What's the direction you are looking at now? What direction are you heading now?
Okay, well, music, as you know, I've been doing music since in the West. My career started in 1999, where I did my first album that featured the Jamaican stars like Richie Spice and Yami Bolo, and this was a 12-track compilation. I toured 40 states in the US. So now I'm here in Ghana. I'm still continuing on with the same path. I have my own independent label, which is Mystic Productions / Sugar Hill Records. I've already produced my first track at home. Even when I came to Ghana, I've already set up my home studio so I can, document everything that is being inspired while I'm at home. And to finish off, my brand new album called Freedom Street, which will be launched here in Ghana and released here in Ghana in a few weeks from now. It's in the process of being mixed. And I will continue to do my reggae, and I will also wet my feet with the high life and also the Afrobeats. I'm not limiting myself. I'm embracing all that there is that Ghana has to offer and Africa has to offer culturally.
Nice. So, guys, I listened to some of his tracks on his YouTube. Unfortunately, he doesn't have too much on there. Yeah.
Annihilation was recorded in London in 2020 when I was stuck there during the COVID period. On my way to come here to do a show for the first time at Takoradi. Unfortunately, that never happened. COVID messed a lot of stuff up. And Annihilation is geared towards me questioning the World Health Organizations, all these so-called governments that is using all different means to control the world's population, which inoculation is one of the process of such. And we find that they have been using the African people as guinea pigs. As you know, Africa was not largely affected with COVID. Kenya was one of the first grounds they started testing. So it just shows you.
Yeah, they thought they could. Wipe us out. That didn't work out too well.
Annihilation is a song that will open your eyes about even the chlorine they put into the water. The content of it is too much, and some of the fluoride and all of these things block our pioneer gland.
So what are we to expect in the next album, the new one coming?
The new album is gonna feature superstar like the Maxi Priest, legend. Hoping to feature one act from Ghana on that album also.
Give us a name.
We're still in the talks, and I don't want to say until we start recording in the studio.
Right.
So you'll be the first to know, most definitely.
Sure.
Yeah. I've already released my first single called What a Joy. It's me expressing the joy I feel being back home in Ghana, the land of my ancestors. The second song I'm going to release is in a week and a half from now. It's called Sunflower. And while in Ghana, I've gotten the opportunity to even be on a collaborative project, which was to even be in respect in mourning of our late
Queen Mother,
and that song is tribute to her. It's a beautiful song. People can look out to see among the Ghanaians, the great diamonds. On that same tribute track, I did a line on it to pay my respect. As a descendant of the Gauls, it's honored to be here at such a timely fashion. And I will definitely be exploring a lot of the Afrobeat and bringing a little consciousness to the Afrobeat.
Right. I remember in our first conversation you mentioned Kevin Little.
Yes.
Give us a brief.
Well, Little, you remember when let's rewind the tape where we said, let's go back a bit when I went to college in St. Vincent.
Right.
Me and Kevin Little used to actually be singing every lunchtime in college. And people used to laugh at us and say, you guys making a bunch of noise. And look at the destiny today. He became a superstar. I migrated to the States and went on doing reggae and released my music and, still scratching the surface of reggae, so to speak. So Kevin Little is a very close friend to me, personal friend to me. And yes, he opened a lot of doors and even bridged the gap within the region. People who never knew about St. Vincent as a musical empire.
Right.
He helped to took us to that level. So I say, kudos to him.
Is this guy also from the Red Rat?
No, Red Rat is from Jamaica.
He's from Jamaica. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Wow. Okay, let's get back to the name. Kwashi. Iyojuba. And that's an undeniable Ghana name. Okay, so we know that a lot of our brothers that left lost their identity. How was your lineage able to maintain this name?
My grandfather's name was Amon Emmanuel Kwashi. My father's name today is still James Emmanuel Kwashi, like you have the Jamestown.
Wow.
And while we were in the transatlantic slave trade, my family was more known for watching the land for the queen, because we were the warriors. So even in the Jamaican history, in Jamaica, I must mention this, Kwashi is looked at as a fool. A royal name is looked at as a fool because, like I say, one time they were trying to capture one of the Jamaican heroes who was responsible for killing most of the slave master. So they put a ransom out to catch this guy. I think his name was Jack, Mr. Three Finger Jack. Three Finger Jack is his name. And the only man who could have captured him was the 7-foot giant, Kwashi. And because Kwashi captured him, they looked at Kwashi as a sellout and called the name Kwashi fool. So I'm just showing you, in the Caribbean, I've been through a lot of challenges when I meet Jamaicans and different people that try to tarnish my real history and my real legacy and my royalty by saying, you're a fool. And I went to Jamaica in 2011 to participate in a national singing competition called the Festival, which Bush Banton did when he came out of prison.
Yeah,
that same very competition, JCBC. I went into that competition for the reason to create history with my name.
Turn up, food in the pot, still food now, burn up.
And everyone, over 2 million plus people, voted for that same name, Kellis Kwashi.
Wow.
And did not even realize it's the same Kwashi they were calling a fool. Yeah. So Kwashi now has been very dear to me, where after I realized people look at my name as a fool, it was a regimen to motivate me to push more in the music industry. Because I'm telling you, I meet everyone. You can name it, the Barry Salmon, the Luciano. I meet everyone who could have pushed me through the door in the reggae music. But somehow, I take my name because they figure their knowledge to my name is Kwashi is a fool. I'm always underlooked.
Wow.
I'm telling you that. And these are the stuff that helped me to grow from strength to strength, and even helped me to develop such a powerful vocal because of the pain behind and the struggle behind my voice and the challenges I've been through as an artist, all because of my name. So I always say, I will leave the West and return to the land of my ancestors for people to know my true legacy. So here I am, as they say, Sankofa.
Wow.
You know?
It's this.
So I was born Kellis Calvert Kwashi.
Wow.
My father still lives in the little island today. He's 77 years of age. His name is James Emmanuel Kwashi. And my destiny is to have him touch this land
touch the land,
before God is ready for him, you know, as they may say.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm the first generation from my family to ever make this voyage, to come on a one-way ticket to return back to the land of the door of return, because we went to the door of no return. Now I'm at the door of return. I've returned.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I would assume that you had visited
The Jamestown. Yes, I visited the Usher Fort. I've seen it all. I felt the energy of my ancestors on my shoulders, you know. Felt what they've been through. And, you know, not only my tribe or my people, but many people been through. I mean, people from Nigeria, like, you know. So a lot of people were captured, and it was a sad situation, but the great thing about it is there's a lot of Kwashis in the Caribbean. even in Trinidad and Tobago. And a lot of blacks in Trinidad, they migrated into Trinidad from St. Vincent and Grenada.
Right.
So when they call themselves Trinidad and thinking the Trinidad is better than the Grenadian or the St. Vincent, is our mind has been warped with the colonial terms, and really and truly, where the people from Trinidad came from. They came from island hopping from the different smaller islands. So really and truly, we are distant relatives because we all came on one ship. The ship was docked in Barbados, where we are now. And if you check how close is Barbados from St. Vincent, how close is Barbados from St. Vincent? So we are actually spread to the different islands. And when we visit the smaller islands, we see people looking just like us.
Right.
Maybe speaking a different twang or different language, or dialect, but we are all brothers and sisters. Yeah. And we say we are one Caribbean, but the Caribbean are not united. We still want to hold on to the colonialized names that was given to us, which is Vincentian, St. Lucian, Trinidadian, Kittitians. So they still don't even see themselves as African.
Wow.
So I say I'm glad that I've made this move to really find my true roots and culture, to be a regimen to bridge the gap between the African people and the people from the Caribbean or the diaspora.
With all this being said, how do you feel about young Africans trying to go to the West?
Repeat that again.
How do you feel about young Africans trying to go to the West?
Oh, I must let them know, not everything that glitters is gold. Not everything on the other side of the fence that it may look green, it's really green. When you go there, like I say, Ghana is sweet and Ghana is nice. Because if you go to take a cab from Brooklyn to Queens, New York, you'll have to pay maybe $45 US, depending on the distance you're going, which is less than an hour ride.
Right.
In Ghana, you can get a cab from Osu to Bawe, which is like over an hour ride, for less.
Less, wow.
So why are people saying Ghana is hard? You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at life, whether you want to say, okay, $50 US, maybe 500 cedis, for example, you may go to the United States, leave Ghana to work. All right, and you may work for 150 US a day, which is like over almost 1,200 Ghana cedis a day. Then when you leave to go to work, you may park your bicycle or your car in the wrong area, and that 120 that you may think you're making today,
It's gone.
It's gone to the system. And you have no friends, no family, no fruit trees when you're hungry to say you can go pick and eat for free. So when you really check out the different conditions compared to the freedom you have in Ghana, I mean, Ghana is paradise. So I will say, educate yourself, finish your tertiary education and your college education, and let us rebuild Ghana and rebuild the continent. Instead of going to the West and taking your skill to the West. Imagine, for example, all the skilled people in the West, Caribbean and diaspora leave that West and come
move to Africa. Oh boy.
This is what they don't want to happen. This is why they will take all the lions, all the deer, not the deers, all the kangaroos and all the different animals and take them over to the West. So people think, why am I going to Africa? And I can see
Animals.
everything in Africa, I can see there in the West. You know, so I must say to people, don't get tricked by the narrative. I've been living in the West. And I'm 45. And I'm letting you know, there is nothing on the other side but stress, tribulations. If you love tribulations, visit the West.
Yeah. Find out the definition of tribulation. It's no little word.
And it's not even like back in the days when you can go to the States without visa and you could still get a small job on the side, and it's totally different.
Different now,
no one is going to risk to have you work for them. So a lot of Ghanaians saying, oh, I want to go to America. You go to America, you don't have visa to work. You think you go and your family say, oh, you can work with us. No, they will lock them up.
Right.
It is totally different than what it was yesterday. Like even when I went to America, I thought everything was 99 cents. You will go to a 99 cent store and see something for $20. And you want to know. So don't get fooled by the narrative. Dance a yard before you dance abroad. Clean the star out in your eyes first before you clean out the star in someone else's eye. Always remember, when you point like this, the finger is pointing back at you. So everything starts at home.
Right.
So instead of you leaving paradise to go to hell, think twice. Because you can use what you have and make something out of it, rather than going to somewhere where you have an empty basket. One cocoa can fill a basket.
Right.
So if you have 5 cocoa, you'll turn your back because someone tell you, say, come to the other side, and they give you 30 cocos. And then you go over there and you realize it's not.
It's not so.
It's not so. So don't be fooled. I mean, it's good to go overseas to further your education and so forth, but you can do that in Africa. Africa had the first university there was in the earth.
Right.
So I mean, we have the higher education, but we think to ourselves. I mean, look how much white folks are coming to Ghana to do their postgraduate, for do their, their internship. Many people from Europe come here. I see them at Tatale all the while, eating food. And, they don't have a Ghanaian accent, so why are they doing here? They come here for educational purposes.
Right.
So why are we not going there for educational purposes and come back to build our country, build Africa?
Wow. Interesting. Is Africa the future?
Africa is the future. Africa, always remember, the dim past is the very future. If we look at life as a cycle, if it starts here, it will come back.
Come back.
Yeah. And we also know that in everything in the earth was created in an incubator. You can't create life in a freezer box. So why people are running to those places and to be facing, biting a gum, gnashing of teeth, like the Bible speaks of, cold weather. And after a while, they start getting arthritis. They're eating a bunch of GMO food. As you can see, the food now in the West, if you want to go in the West, it will no longer be GMO. It will be RNA, restricted nutrients. It will have seeds.
Wow.
Just like plants will have, but even the GMO food now has no seeds, but they will make new plants with seeds, but they will not be nutritious. So are you going to give up your freedom and the good food you can have in Ghana to go overseas and eat genetically modified foods that will not make you healthy but make you get weaker and weaker, that you will not even be able to live to see the money that you will work for to come back to Ghana to enjoy it?
Wow. Kyusha,
Yes, my
what's this thing you've been holding?
This is my lady, yo. This is my bestie. It is called the Melodica. It's equivalent to a keyboard. With a keyboard, you need electricity to play it.
Right.
With this, you need without the air, it can't play.
Wow.
Like, look at it.
Yeah.
So you need to have
Where is
strong.
the sound coming from?
The sound is coming from. Now you can do this. So you can also. So it's basically the air is being transmitted, and then you can play the keys. So it's something very good for me to help me with my cardiovascular because I'm a singer, and it's helped to exercise my lungs. Plus, it helped to show my versatility as an artist on stage. So I always fuse this with my performance. If you come to see Cushion there, you will see the melody.
So how many instruments do you play?
I play drum, guitar, keyboards, bass, organ, the djembe.
You're literally a one-man band.
Yeah, because I produce my music also,
Yeah.
I arrange my music also, and I write my music also. So I'm a complete artist.
Wow. And you do your own mixing and mastering?
Yeah, well, I do the mastering in Jamaica and in New York sometimes, but yeah, I do all the mixing of it and all that, yeah.
Wow.
And the creation of the rhythm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can tell this is in your blood. That's what you eat.
Music is what I eat and sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, every day. It's my life, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I say, people never give up. Always know what you believe in, or your skill can, in the future, honor you. If you be true to your skill and true to your craft, and every day you try to do something towards building that craft. Don't take no for an answer. Right. You know, I was fortunate to get a vocal coach while I was in the States. So this I will also use as some of my background to help younger singers here in Ghana, you know, to align their vocals. So if anyone need vocal, you know, a vocal mentor, I'm here, I'm open for the youngsters. So,
I'm here.
Yeah, because a lot of people sing in the business, but they don't know the true definition of the word singing.
Right.
I may say, singing is a sustained speech. Repeat after me. Singing
is a sustained speech.
So the same way you talk is the same way you sing. Never try to sing like no one else. Because you cannot sing like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston.
No.
So you must always sing the song in your speech voice.
Right.
Don't ever try to assume someone's key, but carry your own key. So you don't ever need a locksmith.
Wow.
Like they say, the karaoke.
Yeah.
You know, you carry your own key.
Yeah.
You know, but most people don't carry the key when they come to sing at those bars or whatever.
No.
They just come and sing anyhow.
Yeah.
So singing is a sustained speech, and there's only two ways you can finish your singing: with a sustained finish or with a vibrato finish.
Wow. Where is Q-Shango? Where will you be in the next 5 years, musically?
Musically, in the next 5 years, I see myself in all states in Africa, because this is my vision. I want to be touring every state in Africa before I have my big major concert ever in the West again. So my vision is to use the message, the inspiration, and help to uplift and awaken the consciousness of the people in the African continent. That's my main #1 priority. To be maybe the next king of reggae in Africa. And I've already put it in the universe.
Right.
I mean, even right now, there's no one in Africa with my type of vocal and my vocal ability. So I say in 5 years from now, people might say, yeah, Q-Shango, remind us of the Lucky Dube, the Peter Tosh. You know, all those things I embrace. And
so shall I say, are you hoping to feature with the Stone Boys and the...
Well, that is already in the talks already. I've already said on an interview, he's willing and welcome collaboration with myself.
Okay. Yeah, so who has been your biggest musical inspiration?
To me, is Lou Rawls. He's an American singer, he's a black American singer, the Lou Rawls, the Nat King Cole. Right. When I started off in reggae, I used to listen a lot of Dennis Brown, a lot of Luciano, a lot of Peter Tosh, even Bob Marley also, Still Pulse, Third World, all the reggae groups. So I will say most of the authentic singers of our history have influenced my career heavily. Because I don't just listen to reggae because I'm a Rasta man.
Right.
I listen to jazz, you know, pop, also R&B and blues, you know, and I take whatever I can out of it and fuse it with my roots reggae, you know. So when you listen to my voice, you might hear me sung in one way in this track, and the next track, is that Q-Shan? Yeah, it's me.
Wow.
So I'm an 8-octave singer. I can sing in 8 octaves.
Wow.
So, you know,
that's very versatile.
yeah, music is definitely part of me. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. So do you have something to say to those watching you now?
Well, I want to say this to the world. The best means for the world to overcome the world difficulties is that the world be united as in a single body. Thus being one single organ, nations must find the means to heal their unhappy wounds, not by bits, but as a whole. Like, for example, in Ghana, in the Volta region, every village or every community in Ghana should have been joining hands and mobilizing whatever way to help everyone to restore their life to some form of normalcy. And if we as people, try doing things collectively and not just by bits, we will show more marked progress in this life, you know. And have faith. Don't lose your faith in God, because a lot of things in the world may persuade you and to crush your faith. Because I don't deal with belief. Because when you believe something, you shrink the capacity of you to learn more.
Really?
If you have, yes, because if you believe something, you will not research it to know nothing more about it, because you already spoon feed. This is it, what it is. But if you question it, this is why you have a right part of your brain and a left part of your brain. The right part of your brain is for questioning stuff. That is the creative side of your brain. Hence, why you think they replace most of the vehicles to left-hand drive is because the African people don't function good on their left brain. This is why it causes accidents. So certain things are strategically developed as part of your cultural background and your everyday liberty, but it will also affect the fundamental growth of your nation that people don't look into on that level. So, you know, I want to say to people, be true to yourself. If a brother is going up, help him push him up. Because when he goes up, he'll send the ladder down so the rest can climb up. Never take no as an answer. Always push on, pursue. Be consistent in what you do. And never lose your history and your culture.
Never lose your history and your culture. Listen, guys, if you ever have to listen to anything or have to follow anything, I think you should listen to him, because through slavery, going through all the oppression, the suppression, and all the shames, the schisms and the isms, all those things, his family has been able to maintain the African name they originally had, all the way from Ghana through slavery till now. The name Kwashi has survived. So you need to listen to when he says that. Listen to him. Yes, he knows what he's saying, and he has the history to back it up. Wow. Future. I think I don't have too much more to ask. I want to say thank you for availing yourself. Thank you for the time. All the wahala we went through today. You had the patience. You were helping me carry my stuff.
It's a pleasure.
All that.
And I want to say thanks to you for being the brave one to make the connection. I want to say thanks to Aman Ziba for introducing me through you. He has been a godfather to me. And I want to say thanks to everyone who have been an integral part of helping me, assisting me while I've been here in Ghana and making my stay welcoming one, hospitable one. And I want to say to everyone out in the world, change your narrative about the African experience and visit the motherland, Africa, and judge for yourself.
And judge for yourself. Visit and judge for yourself. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Q-Shot. I love the name. Q-Shot.
And remember, the Volta need help. The Volta need help. Their voices cry help. This one is heartfelt. The Volta need help. The Volta need help. Their voices cry help. This one is heartfelt. Me beg you treat the people proper in a Volta. Now tell me about no natural disaster. My people.
Hey, yes. It's already lit here. Nice, that's a nice one.
Yes.
I love it. Yes. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my brother. Join hands for everyone in the Volta region. Let us help them to get back their lives to normalcy, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. We'll meet another time.
As they say, Ayo Ador. Ayo Ador.